And we're back with another Oopsy Daisy. I'm Ashley.
And I am Vanessa.
And this is actually our 10th podcast. Is that correct? Yes.
Yeah. I'm surprised we made it this long, to be honest.
We managed to do this for 10 weeks.
Not even because we skipped so many weeks.
Well, yeah.
It was because you were weak. It's okay.
Well, 1 week, yes. 2
a-
weeks for me because I was away.
Yeah. Fuck. You said it wasn't because of the Philly cheesesteak, but it was. We know. Don't need to lie. We know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, the episode we're talking about today is Sweet Misery. And every single summary I look at is way, way, way too detailed.
Okay, I'll give you a small, short one.
Okay.
Casey falls off a chair. Hurts herself. Derek doesn't want to be blamed. The end.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. I mean, this episode was definitely better than
last week's
Puppy Dog Tales.
Oh.
But still, this isn't really anything
to write home
amazing.
About? Yeah.
But we'll go ahead. So it starts with Edwin and Lizzie in the living room trying to find something to watch. And Casey comes in and she sits on the couch. Now, she doesn't sit where, like, you're supposed to. She sits on the upper part.
Yeah, it looks like she's channeling her inner Derek in that one, because it's something Derek would 100% do, is just, like, hop over the couch and then just sit on the top of the couch, and that's exactly what she did. And I was like, that's super Derek.
It really struck me as something, like, totally not Casey.
Exactly.
Because, like, Casey's all, like, cautious and, like, you know, this is not the right way to sit on furniture and stuff like this. And then she's sitting on the top end of the couch. Like, that's just like, really weird to me. But I guess they have to do this for the next thing to happen.
Yeah, it's like the only way it would make sense.
Yeah.
But I was always told never to sit like that because it was bad for the couch. Because it would break the back.
I don't know if I ever really tried to sit like that. Like, I've always had pretty, like, high, like, couches.
No.
Like, so I don't know if I necessarily could have sat like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I always used to sit like that on a couch because we used to, like, run and jump over it and stuff.
See, my couches were almost always against the wall.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. Like, I've had couches like that 100%, and then when you have friends over, you kind of, like, pull the couch away and then, like, be an idiot. So that's why we were told never to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, as you can tell, I lived a horrible childhood. I was very rambunctious. I was always fighting with my sister. So my life's not like Ashley's, who's super perfect.
No. No. I'm sure I did shit. I just don't remember any of it. I blocked it all out.
Yeah, it's too traumatizing.
But anyway, so Derek comes in, I guess, like, he was at, like, hockey practice or something. I don't know. He comes in after everyone's already been home, and he takes the remote from Casey. Of course, Casey yells at him to give it back. And so he does, but before he does, he, like, wipes it under his shirt. I guess to get all the sweat there or something.
The germs, like, that does nothing to repel me.
No, it doesn't. Especially because it's not like he had, like, a wet spot under his shirt.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't even think he did.
Yeah, so, like, it has no effect. And she's all like, ew.
Yeah.
But, so he throws it to Casey after he does that, which she surprisingly catches.
Yeah, as she's, like, flailing backwards to catch it.
Yeah. And so, because she catches it, she's off balance, and she's, like, flailing on the couch.
It's such a horrible reason for her to get hurt.
So, yeah, it is. So she shouts for Derek's help, but he only takes the remote and lets her fall.
What a dick.
But the thing is, she's on the back end of the couch, and she falls backwards.
Yeah,
which you could expect. You might get hurt, right?
Yeah, but she
How
like
the hell
fell.
does your ankle?
Yeah, this is for you guys. Obviously, don't know this, but I'm watching the episode, and then immediately this scene happens, and I haven't looked over the notes or anything that it was sent to me. So immediately I text her and say, can we please talk about how she fell headfirst off a couch and twisted her ankle? And then I look at the notes and it's like, why didn't she break her neck and she only twisted her ankle? I was like, good. I'm happy that we're on the exact same page here. I'm so happy.
But honestly, like, what did her like foot like hit the end of the couch really hard when she fell back, and that's how she hurt her ankle?
I don't
Because
know.
honestly, the way she fell back, I wouldn't have been surprised if she like cracked open her head or like broke her neck or something.
She probably would have died, would have been more realistic than I hurt
God,
my
he's
ankle.
like, the show's canceled.
The show has been canceled. Casey snapped her neck. Derek murdered Casey.
God's
But
sakes.
like I'm trying to figure it out, like, cause she kind of like fell back and then her legs like swooped up above her. Did she like smoke her ankle in the corner of a table or something?
I don't know. It's honestly like I don't understand how she hurt her ankle. God's sakes.
uh, have you sprained your ankle in your day?
No.
Okay, well, I have many a times, and I can tell you without a doubt that it was not from falling backwards off a couch. It was from finding potholes and finding them too late while your ankle's like breaking, and that's about it. Like,
Okay.
no couches has caused a sprained ankle
No,
ever.
not like that anyway.
I'm sure there has if someone like jumped on a couch and then their
Yeah.
like ankle like rolled on them, but
Hmm.
not like pitching themselves backwards like they're doing a backflip off the couch or something.
Yeah, the worst injury I've ever gotten is like a stub toe.
What life of luxury are you living?
And then I also I think I sprained my
Your
um
pinky
no,
from
my
like
middle finger.
breaking your pinky raised too
My
high?
middle finger.
Why?
I was playing in gym and I went up to steal the ball.
In what, basketball?
No, it's called handball, and I don't know if it's
Oh,
the
I love
same.
handball. I love handball. Is that like there's two nets and you're like going to score?
It's almost like football, but not.
Okay, so we had to have two like hockey nets and then
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then you're
It's
like
like it's
trying to
like it's like
score.
soccer, but you're using your hands.
It's like soccer. Yes, us we played and you could only walk like two steps without dribbling.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you had to pass it off or something
But
like
people
that.
are
And then,
so obvious in gym; they send it to the same people.
oh yeah, hundred
So
percent.
it's like, okay, he has it. He's gonna give it to that guy. Okay,
Yeah,
go
they
over
never
there.
pass it to the girls.
Bam.
Never pass it to the girls.
Yeah,
That's
and
usually
then
how it
if it
goes.
was the girls, you knew who they would pass it to too. So it's like,
They're just gonna throw it away somewhere. So
mm-hmm. So anyway, so I went for that, but the way we both came down, she
mm.
fell on my hand. So I ended up spraining my middle finger, which was
Do you want me
fun
to?
because I could just go around with my middle finger up
Oh god, just fingering
because I
everyone.
had it in a splint.
Yeah, just like walk around and just be like, I hate you. Fuck you. See, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I have gotten hurt so many times. Let's see.
I've had concussions.
I've never had a concussion,
I, I
surprisingly.
had I had two before I was 5.
Okay, that's shaking baby syndrome and that's illegal.
No, it's not. It wasn't me. It was just me falling because I'm such a klutz.
Oh god. See, I played hockey and legit had like a head injury from hockey, but I didn't get a concussion. That's the funny part. Like, that's one of my injuries. I've fallen, like, you know when you're really young and you can skate but you can't stop?
Yeah, that's still me.
So that's pretty much me, like, when I was
Is
like 6.
that why you became a goalie?
No, actually, I became a goalie because no one wanted to be a goalie and we needed a goalie. And I could have been on Team Canada, I swear to God, I was so good as a center because we had no goalie. So I said, I'll be a goalie. And then I became the goalie for the next like 4 years. So, yeah, I had a lot of injuries. I've had to go to the hospital and had surgery on my head for one, so that's fun. I fell head first into rocks, got up, and then my little Fisher Price wagon hit me in the bum, and I went flying head first, and got a bunch of rocks stuck in my head.
Ah.
It explains so much now that you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had my hand sliced open in gym class
Oh.
and required 11 stitches, and it went down to like the bone.
What the hell? How the hell did that happen?
I was in grade 4, and surprisingly, it was on Friday the 13th. I remember it because of this. And we were playing tag in gym class, and then the guy who was it went to tag me, but he like shoved me from behind. So I went flying, and then my hand slid across the gym floor, and I had happened to find with my hand the head of a nail sticking out of the gym floor. So it like went between my like the middle of my hands and like slid down, like my fingers between my middle fingers and like ring finger or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I was holding my hand and I was like, ah! And then the teacher's like, oh, are you okay? And he's like, oh, she's faking it. She doesn't want to be out. And then I like opened my hand because I was like keeping it all compressed. And I opened my hand and it was like a quart of blood like dropped from my hand. And they're like, okay, you gotta
go. you know where you like when you wash your hands, in the water, like you know, like and they like the water stays on your hands.
Yeah, you just cup it there, and then you like let go, and it's like a huge thunk of water.
And then you like project it at someone after you like.
Yeah.
You know, you should have did that to the kid.
Right? That's how much blood there was in my hand.
Like, I'm not faking it. Bam!
Exactly. And then I go to the office, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to need some stitches. And I hated needles at this point. So
they did it there?
Like, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was going to be like, wow.
I wasn't crying. I wasn't crying at this point. Oh. What sent me crying was, you're going to need stitches. I hated needles. And then my mom had to come get me. So they're like, okay, well, why don't you go back to class? And your mom will come get you. So I'm like, oh, okay. So
they took you back to class?
Yeah. So
they would have kept me in the office area. Or, like.
Yeah, well, we're tough. So I'm sitting in class holding like a bandage to my hand, and everyone's like, oh, can I see it? I'm like, okay. And it's just like, you just see like the inside of my hand, and everyone's like, oh, cool. And yeah, it's great. And then I had to go get it surgically, I lost feeling in my hand now for the scar is.
You still don't have feeling?
Like, I have feeling there, but like, you know, if you like run your hand on your like palm of your hand, it kind of tickles.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I can feel
it completely like screw up the nerves there?
Yeah. So, like, I have, like, no tickle feeling, like, where the scar is. Like, around it I do, but where the scar is and everything, it's completely gone. And then they're like, you should sue the school. And my mom's like, no.
Sue the damn kid.
Yeah, exactly. Sue the kid. I know he's... Fuck you, Garrett.
I sue him for, like, his lunch.
Sue him for his lunch money. But yeah, that was probably the worst injury I had. Because, like, I literally lost, like, feeling in my hand and everything. I've, like, had, like, a really bad sprained ankle where you know about it because it got me out of the military.
Oh, yeah.
I had to leave the military because it was so bad.
That was so long ago.
It was, too. And I still, like, think about it. I'm like, what if I didn't sprain my ankle? I was in the army, so I probably died. I would have died. Anyway, her injury is fake.
The next scene, it cuts to Casey on the couch with ice on her ankle. But also, these two scenes, it is so obvious they reshot them.
I didn't notice it at all until you told me.
Oh, no, it's so obvious to me. Because Mike's hair is dramatically longer, but they make it look like they're trying to have it the same style as before. But it's like it's just so obvious to me that it's like they filmed it in this was like one of the beginning of the season episodes, and then like by the end they were like, oh crap, something went wrong here. You have to completely reshoot it. and he's just like completely different now.
Oh jeez, yeah. Like it was a little longer. I noticed it like after you told me. Like I was by the end of the episode, so I was like, "Oh yeah, no, that's longer hair." But I'm not like you and go, "Something's wrong here. Mike's hair is not as
Well,
perfect as it
because it
was
changed
before."
within like it changed like 5 times within the span of 30 seconds.
I didn't notice because I'm not in
Like
love
the
with
first like
Michael.
30 seconds of like the episode is like long hair, short hair, long hair, short hair, long hair, and it's just like then like after the episode like goes through, it's short hair for basically the rest of it. But like the first couple scenes, like you see the switch off.
I'm just saying, like, if you weren't in love with Michael, you wouldn't have noticed it.
I don't think so. I'm pretty like on hair. I'm like pretty good at that.
Yeah,
If I
I'm
notice
not.
it's still like weird or something like that, that's me.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
So anyway, so Casey's on the couch, and I thought it was really adorable when Marty came down. She's like in like a play, like doctor's coat, and she has like a stethoscope around her, and then she's like, "We may have to operate."
We might have to operate, like remove the whole ankle.
Yeah. I just thought that was really cute. Then Casey tells Derek that basically it was all his fault. And of course, Derek's like, "How is it my fault?" And Casey starts going all lawyer lingo on him.
I'm telling you, that's why she's going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, she has to be a lawyer in the future at this point. She just has to be. Like, she's going on about negligence and, like, all this other crap.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just
She's
like, I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, yeah, she would be really good, like, as a lawyer. Especially if she had to go against Derek.
I mean, Derek is the idiot defense, though, so he would be that guy who, like, they would purposely, like, try to get a rise out of him just to get, like, you know how in TV shows they're like, well, if we can make him get super mad and do, like, an outburst in court, we got him, kind of thing. I think he's the one who would fall for that, of them, like, insulting him, and then he'd be like, "Rah!" Like, I think he would, I think he'd be that person.
Yeah, he might be. But it depends, like, because he's, like, as much as he's, like, a loose cannon sometimes, he can be very, like, he can hold it back.
He can, yeah.
So, I think it would depend on the situation. But anyway, so she's going all lawyer on him, and Casey tells Derek that she's going to tell their parents unless he gives her something of his.
Mm-hmm.
And he like immediately gives in because he doesn't want to be like grounded, I guess, for the weekend because he has plans.
Mm-hmm.
And so he says, like, he agrees to her having something of his, whatever, like it can be his stereo or whatever. So, this is Casey being manipulative again.
Being really manipulative, it's like, I don't know how they don't pick it up on it, because she's always like, I'm telling you, it's the freaking serial killer Casey. Like, how did they not pick up on it?
So anyway, being a good sister, Lizzie, she makes Casey a sandwich, and she comes out and she gives Casey the sandwich, and like Casey's all like, "Oh, thank you that you didn't have to do that." Like, and then she looks at it, and it's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something, and she's like, "Oh, you used the chunky one."
What a bitch.
And Lizzie's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" Like, and it's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like, it's fine."
She's like, "Oh," and she's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "You used chunky," and I'm like, "Bitch, there's more protein in there, so your bones will be stronger."
So of course, Lizzie, being the good sister that she is, she goes and she makes another sandwich for her sister.
No, she doesn't even do that. She's like, "I'll take the peanuts out of it." So she was gonna open.
Wait, hold on. She did? I thought she was just gonna give her another freaking like.
No, she's like, I'll pick out the crunchy bits. She was legit gonna pull the sandwich apart and sit there and take out all the peanuts.
Okay, one, I wouldn't want that sandwich after the fact.
Right?
And two, like, I mean, really, you're gonna be that like that pet?
You're missing out on
She made this for
protein.
You without you even asking, because she was trying to be helpful.
Exactly. She was like, "You were so nice to me when I hurt myself in soccer. Let me help you."
So yeah. So again, Casey's being a bitch.
I love how, like, I don't know what it is, if this is just me, but like rewatching this, I'm like, everyone here is a fucking bitch.
I know though. Like, cause like even like when I watched it like a couple years ago, like the first season again,
Yeah.
like I didn't really pick up on any of this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, whatever. But then like actually watching it and actually like having to write down notes for things, you're like, damn,
I know.
people are like either like so mean or bitchy or just like, wow. Like, like Derek
This.
and Casey are both so indifferent in this episode.
Oh, they are.
Because like Derek's like, I don't care if you die. And then later in the episode, Casey's like, I don't care if you die.
Fuck you. You can die.
Like she gets really hardcore at the end. And like,
Oh, they do.
oh man. So anyway, so then George comes in with flowers, which over the top, but it was very sweet for him to get her flowers. I didn't really think it was necessary, but and then he tells Derek to give up his seat so that Casey can elevate her legs better. And then Nora comes up and she's like, "Oh, and Casey, you can have the remote and you can watch whatever you want." And then George immediately is like, "Oh, wait, but we can still watch the game tonight, right?" And then Nora kind of gives him a look that basically says, "No way in hell." And then George is like, "Oh, well, I guess we can catch the highlights."
This is what I don't understand. Like, yes, there's no PVR, as you mentioned in our text.
Dark times.
But, like, you can still record a game.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
In the VCR.
I used to record things on my VHS tapes, like, religiously.
Oh, same. Always. And then you'd have, like, a huge tape, and you just have to be like, you could, like, always rewind to that part you liked of that one episode, or you'd be like, okay, and then you just, like, bring it back to the beginning and then record all over
Yeah, because, for Christmas and, like, my birthday, I would ask for, like, the 5-pack or the 10-pack, like, VHS tapes.
Okay, I wasn't that hardcore.
No, I used to, like, yeah, because, like, I used to love to, like, to record the Disney Channel original movies. Mm-hmm. Like, even some of the new episodes, if I knew I wasn't going to be there. Like, yeah, I just, like...
See, I went through a really dark time where I didn't have cable when I was in school. And it was so dark times that my mom bought VHS tapes and she'd go to work and get her coworkers to record the shows for us.
That's like really nice of them to do that, though.
I know. So like, I'm not gonna say I'm a weeboo, but I really liked Dragon Ball Z growing up, as many kids do, and it was like the only show I watched that's weeboo anime.
I never watched that.
Well, good. You didn't curse yourself. So like every like Friday, I'd be like, I need my episode. You're
like an addict. It's like...
I was. Well, when you don't have it, you gotta have it some way or another. So I would get like my Dragon Ball Z, my Dragon Ball GT, and I would watch it, and then I'd be like, yes. And my mom's like, did you watch it? I'm like, yep. She's like, okay, I'll bring it back for the next weeks to be recorded. So it was like a whole year of just constantly some random dude at my mom's work recording shows for us.
And now you're that memory of him. It's like, huh. Remember when I used to like tape Dragon Ball Z all the time for this like coworker's like daughter?
Yeah. It's the life. But now you can find all these season DVDs of them.
Yeah.
Or you can go on YouTube and have that one person, aka Ashley, who's uploaded every single episode.
So back to the episode.
You make it sound like this is my fault.
So back to the episode. So then we find out that Derek is buying concert tickets for this weekend. That's basically the whole scene that it is there, I think. Just that him like calling, some person up, and I think he asked Edwin for money.
It sounds like a drug deal, to be fair.
Not the first time.
You don't know the context.
We hear that.
Yeah, it's like you don't know the context at all. They don't mention it's for tickets, don't they? It's just like, yeah, I'll have the money, and I'm like, oh god. What are you doing?
So yeah, he's buying something, but we know it's going to be concert tickets. And then it cuts back to Casey in the living room, and she's with Lizzie. And apparently Lizzie's like feeding her drink or something. Like, I don't know. Like, she's holding Casey's drink. and it looks like she might have been like holding it for her so she can sip from it. But it's like Casey's freaking hands aren't broken either, okay?
You know what though? Like with Casey doing the things she's doing in this episode, I'm like, you are no better than the person you hate the most.
I know. That's like it's like they are the same person but on different extremes. It's like she's like the same person, but she puts up this facade that she's like a great person, that she cares about people, and then you have Derek who's just like, I don't care what you think.
Okay, that's why I'm gonna start this right now. I have already started it last time. But like, how many sociopath, psychopath characteristics can we find in Casey here? Like, we need to keep track. Someone keep track. How many times I call Casey a psychopath or something, a serial killer.
Like, Derek doesn't try to hide it, but like, you know, Casey ends up being exactly like Derek, despite her morals and all this other crap.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so Lizzie's with Casey, and Casey's like, "Oh, thanks so much for hanging out with me." It's like, I mean, you don't have anything to do you? And then Lizzie's like, "Well, like I kind of have schoolwork and like
not important."
Yeah, not important according to Casey. According to Casey, it's not important.
The biggest bookworm ever. Not important.
And she's like all like ready to guilt trip like Lizzie to stay longer with her, despite schoolwork.
That's the sociopath in Casey.
But Derek comes down, and so apparently he's okay company to take over for Lizzie. And then Derek, he's telling Casey, okay, like he gives Casey a deadline for when she can ask for something.
Mm-hmm.
Which just automatically just shows like, okay, he doesn't want you to have something, so he's trying to get you to say something right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's being obvious of why he's being so pushy about it. So he's being persistent about Casey coming up with something, and it's at this point it's just because he doesn't want her to figure out that he's getting concert tickets and ask for that.
Yeah.
So Casey still can't figure it out, so he's just like, gives her a deadline for like that Friday or something, and then he goes away. And then Edwin lets it slip up that Derek has borrowed a substantial amount of money from him. Mm-hmm. And so that intrigues Casey. She'd be like, well, why did he have to borrow all this money from Edwin?
Yeah.
So, and then we find out later, but she calls Lizzie down, and we find out that she asked Lizzie to ask Edwin about the money.
Mm-hmm.
But before we even hear about that answer, they're at school.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Freaking Emily.
Emily is such a bitch. That's
okay, like I've kind of like at some points I'm like, that wasn't great, Emily. But oh my god, this line, I could not believe she said this. I was cracking the hell up. I was like, because Emily, they're in the hallway for school, and Casey's on crutches.
She's
like, she hasn't really used crutches before, okay? So she's taking her time with them, obviously. And Emily goes, "Can you pick up the pace? We're going to be late." Like, really? Really?
It's so bad. Like, I said it in the, first episode when we started rewatching that, not the first episode but of our podcast, but, we first started rewatching shit. Mm-hmm. But, I was like, wow, Emily's such a bitch.
Like, I don't remember her being this bitchy.
Exactly. So
unless her character dramatically gets better in the next couple seasons, but I didn't remember her being this. So it's just like, holy shit. So
well, this is how it is. Like, you grow up, you rewatch everything, and then you're picking out things that you've never seen before. Like, Emily, you're such a bitch. Casey, you're such a sociopath. You don't realize it. Also, I googled traits of a sociopath, and okay.
They're really good pretenders, I know that.
Get this. Shallow emotions. When they show what seems to be warmth and joy, love and compassion is more feigned than experienced. Right? So she's pretending.
I don't know if she's a sociopath so much as just maybe just like a psychopath. I don't...
Manipulative and cunning.
I mean, yeah, but...
Not. Grandiose sense of self. feels entitled to certain things as their right. It's fucking Casey! I mean, she doesn't fit the pathological lying. That's Derek. They're both sociopaths, okay?
That's how you know they're meant for each other.
We haven't gotten to the part where Casey is promiscuous yet. But promiscuous sexual behavior is another thing.
She's saving that for the college years.
Yeah, Derek has the lack of a really realistic life plan. Casey kind of has a life plan, but they have some behavior issues, but they fall underneath it. What other authoritative? I can't say this. Secretive. Oh man, Casey, I'm coming after you. I'm gonna make an episode plan just for how Casey's a sociopath. Later down the line, we're gonna crack the code.
That'll be another just like one shot episode. Casey,
like the hockey
the
one.
Sociopath.
To be or not to be a sociopath. The Casey McDonald story.
So back to the crutches. She's on crutches. Emily says it. But okay, so in my school, when people like broke their leg or whatever and they had crutches, the teachers would let them out like 5 or 10 minutes before the bell rang, just so that they had time to get to the other class on time.
I didn't have that because my school was so small. Like it was like pre-K to 12. Like that's the grades. And there was only 500 students in the whole school from pre-K to grade 12. So
but
really
still, like they had you leave early for class, and they had let you have a buddy to take you to class to make sure you got there.
Yeah, because someone had to carry your shit because you're too busy hunching around on your crutches.
So like they would carry your books or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so even if they like the teachers didn't allow Casey to leave early, like if she showed up a little bit late, I feel like the teachers would be understanding. I mean, you're on freaking crutches.
Oh yeah, they would 100% understand. But let's be real, Emily's just a straight up bitch.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Don't worry, no one saw you fall." Like,
yeah, because Casey falls.
It's not her image that matters.
Like, really badly. I don't even know how the hell she fell, but she fell. I'm surprised she didn't sprain her other...
Bridge would have probably sprained her other ankle, sprained her wrist. Let's be real, she probably would have, like, punctured her lung.
Like, she fell like this, it was worse. I feel like than, like, her actual fall. She fell down freaking steps in, like, one of the early episodes. Nothing happened. She just, whatever. Like, the most simple fall she gets hurt from. Which, that ends up happening a lot of times in real life anyway, but...
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, Sam shows up at this point after she falls. And, of course, it's Sam who helps Casey, like, get back up.
Not her friend, not her best friend.
I mean, that would have been, like, my first thing. I was like, oh, Casey, and then help her, like, get up, not be like, oh, don't worry, no one saw.
No one saw, Casey. Hurry the fuck up, we gotta get to class.
So Sam then asks, like, oh, what happened? And Casey's like, oh, Derek didn't tell you what he did? And, of course...
He murdered me.
And, of course, people... are around her and they hear her say this and like I guess they get this rumor spread that basically like Derek pushed her off the couch or something. Like
she literally pretty much said he assaulted her with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
He threw the remote at me with such malice.
Yeah, I know. So freaking dramatic.
Oh my god, I'm writing a list now. Like, Casey, you're a sociopath.
But okay, so she spreads this like lie about Derek basically, and then they cut to Paul's office, and she's talking to Paul about this, and she flat out admits to Paul that she likes being hurt because it gives her attention at both home and school. She's like, I'm like a mini celeb here.
Oh my god!
Like, Casey, really? Really? Like, she's like, oh, I'm getting so much attention at home, and everyone at school feels so bad for me. I'm like a mini celebrity. And I'm just like, Casey. And then Paul's just like, oh my god, she's a freaking psycho. Like, if you didn't think it before, hearing her in this, like, little conversation, you're just like, wow. Like...
Oh god, no, it's...
Like, it just, I don't know, but, like, geez, Casey.
I can't handle it. Like, just like, watching these episodes, I'm like, you're not who you thought you were supposed to be. You're supposed to be a nice person.
I know, she's supposed to be the ultimate nice person, but, like, watching these episodes, at least, like, these first, like, half of the season, it's like, how are you any better than Derek? You're cleaner?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the difference between
That's it.
Casey and Derek. She's cleaner and she does homework.
Yeah, that's literally it. She's like, I'm a better student. I wash. I am not Derek. Except I'm like, these episodes are telling that shit's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Also, I was gonna say something I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it.
Well, if it comes back to you, let me know.
Damn it.
So anyway, so it cuts to then Casey's room after school. And Lizzie is telling Casey that Derek borrowed $72 from Edwin. What is it?
We were all wrong in our fan fiction portrayals of Casey.
Oh.
Because we all thought she was super nice. We think she's the perfect person, and no, we're all wrong. We've all screwed up.
I feel like everyone truly forgets a lot of the first season of what happened, and then we just because I don't think she's as like, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see when we watch the rest of the episodes.
Find out.
But
we'll find out.
Okay. So anyway, so Lizzie tells Casey that Edwin has borrowed $72. I mean, Derek has borrowed $72 from Edwin, and so Casey's automatically like, well, then what's he buying it for? Lizzie, like, basically go and find out what it is and make sure it's something I like.
It's drugs, Casey. Will you like drugs?
Yeah, I mean, really.
Literally, why does he need that money for? He's obviously a drug addict. Get me those drugs, Lizzie!
But, like, really, she's like, Lizzie, make sure it's something I want. Like, okay, and if it's not something she wants, what the hell is she supposed to do? So, and Lizzie doesn't want to do this at all. Like, at all. And she tells Casey this. But Casey's just like, come on, please. Please, please. And so Lizzie goes into Derek's room to snoop.
Mm-hmm.
Not long after she's in there snooping, she hears Derek starting to come in, so she has to hide. And poor Lizzie, she has to hide under Derek's bed. And
how do you get dust mites that big?
I don't know, but after Lizzie comes out from under the bed, she is covered in dust bunnies and like like, I don't even want to know what's probably under that bed. We at least saw old pizza.
Yeah, old pizza. I
saw clothes. Old pizza though, like, that's really disgusting.
Yeah,
majorly disgusting.
But I was triggered for this whole like under the bed thing because I'm an asthmatic and I'm allergic to dust mites. So like her crawling over under the bed, I was like, I'm gonna die. I shouldn't be alive. Just watching it. It was bad.
So basically, but before she comes out from the end of the bed, Derek comes in and he has this like envelope, and of course he has to kiss it before he leaves.
It's his drug fund.
It's so precious to him. He needs to kiss it. So and then he leaves it on his desk. Derek leaves. Lizzie comes out from under the bed. She looks at the envelope and she notices that it's the concert tickets. So then she just takes it and I guess she gives it to Casey. And so it cuts to Casey in the living room. And Derek comes in. He's like, okay, you have to pick something. You have to pick something now. And that's when Casey reveals that not only does she want it, but she already has his tickets. And his face...
Oh god, yeah, it was a pretty gnarly face.
What?
What?
Like, Derek, you gotta stop underestimating Casey, okay? I mean, come on now. She's a psychopath just like you, so...
I don't know, maybe she might be even more of a sociopath.
I know, because he doesn't hide it, but she does.
This is like Dexter, but it's Casey.
Oh boy, I think Derek might be just like a narcissist.
He's a narcissist, 100%, but Casey's a sociopath.
Yeah. Oh boy. So anyway, obviously Derek is pissed, and we end up cutting to his room with he's holding Edwin upside down, and I guess trying to like interrogate him, like, you know, did you tell Casey? What did you tell her? All this other. But hold on. Okay, so he's holding him upside down on top of his bed. How is that intimidating?
I don't know. Maybe all the blood rushing to his head, he'd think he'd die or something.
But like, if he does drop him, he's just gonna drop to the bed. It's a soft landing.
Okay, but it's on his neck, which will snap like it would have happened to Casey.
No, he's just gonna sprain his ankle.
Crazy. Yeah, you're right. How could I think an actual injury that would make sense would happen? He'd sprain his ankle.
But that would actually make sense, though, because he's holding him by, like, his ankles.
The pressure just snapped his tendons in his ankles.
But anyway, so Edwin just kind of says, like, I just told her about the money. I didn't tell her about any tickets. So then Edwin's like, too bad you didn't get hurt first. And so this makes Derek be like, oh, we have to make up a plan to, like, get Casey to hurt him so that he can then blackmail her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. So he tells Edwin, you have to do this. You have to make a plan.
Yeah.
And so it cuts to Lizzie in the kitchen. She's making Casey another damn sandwich. How many damn sandwiches does this woman need?
I don't know, but, like, Casey's a really, like, healthy person. She's fit. We can tell. But she's eating like she has no other day to eat.
So anyway, so Lizzie's making another sandwich. Edwin comes into the kitchen because he's starting to execute this plan against Casey. And they're both shit-talking their siblings, basically saying, like, they hate doing everything for them. They hate being, like, forced, basically, like, out of, like, loyalty, I guess. Mm-hmm. And during this...
Lizzie's loyalty. Lizzie's is... like, out of loyalty. Edwin is just out of fear.
Well, yeah, true. That's true, too. Casey then yells, like, what's taking so long with my sandwich?
What a bitch!
And Lizzie, I mean, I completely agree with her. I probably would have wanted to do the same thing, too. She takes the tomato that she's about to put on the sandwich, and she licks it.
Like, yeah, anyone would do that. It's like the classic, oh, I'm gonna, like, I don't know.
Like, basically only she would know that she's doing it, and it's like...
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's like that itty-bitty, like, satisfaction right there.
It's literally what you fear when you go to a restaurant and you treat the host like the server's bad. You're like, what are they going to do to my food? That's what's happening. But I hate tomatoes, so seeing Lizzie lick the tomato was disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like tomatoes either. But anyway, so Lizzie licks the tomatoes. And so Edwin, you see him, he, like, puts, like, a fish line or something on Casey's crutch.
Yeah.
So then when Casey gets up, to then, like, see what's taking Lizzie so long, walking towards, like, the kitchen. But then Edwin, he pulls the fish line, and her, like, crutch goes flying, and it almost hits Derek. Okay.
And he flinches out of the way. But with good reason, because I'm pretty sure he would have died.
No, he would have sprained his ankle.
I think this is a traumatic brain injury. There's no, like, making fun of this. He would have fucking died.
No, but he would have sprained his ankle. That's what would have happened. He would have gotten his head hit, but then his ankle would have gotten sprained.
He would have fallen over, and in the falling over, his ankle would have sprained, but I think he would have cracked his skull and, like, died of a brain hemorrhage.
So anyway, like, and then Edwin's velocity. Like, you wimp. Like, he's...
There's so much velocity on that crutch swing that he would have died. You can't blame him for ducking out of the way.
But it didn't seem like Derek knew about the plan. No. So, yeah, and, like, so Derek, like, runs after him. It's unsuccessful. He doesn't get hit. But Casey obviously is like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, she was so confused.
And then, I don't remember how it happened, but Lizzie quits on Casey. Mm-hmm. Like, finally. She finally had enough, and she tells Casey that. Yeah. And so Derek's there when all this is happening. He takes the sandwich that Lizzie just made for Casey, and then he takes a bite out of it. And his first remark is like, oh, it's good, but the tomato is a bit soggy.
Like, a tomato is soggy on its own. That's what makes it so gross.
But it's the fact that she, like, licked it was obviously what is being hinted at.
Oh, of course. Of course it is.
And then Derek says, you know, he'll tell their parents that she's been making Lizzie do all her dirty work for her. Mm-hmm. And of course she gets mad at it. Like, as he tries to leave, she sticks out her crutch and she tries to trip Derek. Well, she does trip Derek. This is where I was saying, like, this is where she becomes, like, woo, like, crazy. Like, she was so indifferent to what was happening. Like, she didn't care if she murdered him.
This is another sociopath trait.
Like, she did not care one bit before, during, or after it initially happened. Like, even when he was crying out in pain, she's just like, because she caught the sandwich that, like, ended up flying up when Derek was leaving, and she's just, like, sitting there chilling, like, with her sandwich, about to eat it. And
yeah, no, like, this is another thing. It's a lack of remorse, shame, or guilt. It's another trait. She's 100% crazy.
So Derek's hurt. He's making a very good show of it.
Okay, his injury actually looks legit. Like, he fell down on his knee.
Yeah, right. But so it's like, you know, obviously this could be legit. You know, he's playing it really well. You know, like, he's hurt, and so that initial, like, reaction makes Casey be like, "Oh, well, you know what? Here's your tickets. You can just have your tickets. You know, like, whatever." And so he starts guilt tripping her even more, saying like, "Oh, the emotional, like, impact of this, and I may be out the whole season." She becomes his servant on crutches. He even has her give him one of her crutches to use. Mm-hmm. Oh boy!
But he's sitting down. He doesn't need to be using it in that moment.
These two don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't.
Like, Casey could have, like, fell, sprained her other ankle rather, and then he would have been like, "Where's my sandwich? Where's my freaking sandwich? Crawl to get my sandwich."
The show is so bad.
This episode is, like, really just like, holy shit, they hate each other. Like, if they kept something like this up, like, you know how the question last podcast was like, what they could have done to stop the shipping of Dasey?
Yeah.
This so much indifference to each other, I think, would have stopped any shipping. Because, like, right now, yeah, they really look like they truly hate each other. It's just those moments when, like, you see them, like, falter, and you see them, like, oh shit, like, maybe they're not that bad after all, or, like, I have to come to their aid to do this. That's when the shipping thing comes into play, because it's like, well, they hate each other, but then they don't.
Do we see the look?
If they stayed like this psychopathic, like, hatred towards each other, I don't think many people would have shipped them.
Exactly.
But anyway, so Derek's having Casey, you know, be a servant. She's making him a sandwich. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like he already had eaten a sandwich. Like, she goes to the kitchen, she makes one, and then just as she's about to, like, go back out, she looks down, she's like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But how did you get to the kitchen in the first place?
That's true. Like, that's what I didn't understand either, because you have a free hand.
And you're using the one free hand to
hold the sandwich. Like,
but, like, the first little, like, hop she does, the whole sandwich falls off. And of course she just picks it up and put it back on the plate, but still, it's like
it's ridiculous.
And then while she's in the kitchen, though, Marty comes in and she's like, "Casey, I need paper. And Casey's just like, there's paper everywhere, just take anything. Mm-hmm. And then Derek's all, okay, I need the tickets now. So Casey has to go back to the kitchen, she gets them, but then she realizes that they're not there where they were. And this is when they realize that Marty has taken the tickets for her art project that she's doing.
Which means bad news.
Yeah, so they both run up the stairs to try to stop Marty from doing it. But by the time they get up there...
Coincidentally, their ankle's healed, the knee's healed.
By the time they get up there, Marty's already cut up the tickets, and they're useless now. But then everyone notices, oh, hey, you feel better. You're not hurt. And then Lizzie and Edwin come down. I guess they were in Edwin's room. And Lizzie is, like, full on pissed. She's like, you made me do all this shit. Well, you know, without actually saying all of it. Basically, you made her do all this shit when she could have done it herself. And then Casey's just like, I didn't test it. Really, Casey?
I just didn't test it.
Just didn't test it. Yeah, she just didn't test it.
Didn't test it.
So Lizzie is pissed. And Edwin, he's like, you know, I need payback too because, you know, you took my money. And then obviously he's not going to get his money back because Sam can't pay for his tickets. So he can't pay back Edwin because he's not getting anything. So, and then they both threaten Casey and Derek that they're going to tell their parents about, Casey was forcing Lizzie to do like her dirty work, and that Derek took Edwin's money. So then Derek and Casey become Lizzie and Edwin's servants. There's so many like servant thing in this episode.
There are. It's a very bad lesson. Don't be a servant, kids.
So I forgot to mention this, but earlier in the episode, because the kids were relatively being good, like I think Derek was being helpful, like and not as much of an asshole, because he didn't want Casey telling them about what he did. So the parents were like, "Oh my god, the kids are being so nice to each other, and they're really being helpful with Casey's injury. Like we should get them something. We should do something nice for them." So at the end of the episode, George and Nora, they say how they really appreciate them stepping up and helping Casey, and that they're going to take them to a water slide park. And of course, like Lizzie and Edwin are like so ecstatic. But Derek and Casey are like, probably not.
Okay, listen. Water slides are dope.
Yeah, I know. They're just like, they're really stupid, okay?
They are.
I mean, come on, Derek. Come on, Casey. Literally, it's a water slide park.
Like, Derek, you're supposed to be like the biggest pervo ever. You get to go to a water slide park and there's going to be girls there in their bathing suits. That's like his like fantasy land.
I know, exactly. So like why is he like depriving himself of this?
Maybe he doesn't want to go because Casey will be there in a bathing suit, therefore something's gonna happen. Fanfic!
He'll be sliding in something else.
Beautiful.
So anyway, Derek and Casey, they don't want to go. So Nora and George are like, well, we thought that might be the case. So they reveal that they actually got them tickets to the concert that they wanted to go to. They're called White Stripes. I think that's an actual band.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so they got White Stripes tickets. That's, So of course they're like so excited because there's 4 tickets. So Derek's like, oh, I can call Sam. And Casey's like, I'll call Emily. But of course, they can't call them because Nora and George want to go with them.
Yeah, it's the classic, oh, we got the tickets, let's go to the rock concert that both the parents and the kids are a fan of. But the kids are like, hell no!
So, fun. I just like that once they tell them that, they're like, I forced Lizzie to do this. And Derek's like, I stole Edwin's money or something. Just so that they would get in trouble and not be able to go.
It's always like that. Like so many shows. Boy Meets World did the exact same thing.
They did?
Yeah. Eric wanted to go take his date to like Aerosmith, and the mom and dad got better tickets.
Oh, right.
Like they had front row seats to Aerosmith, and then Eric couldn't enjoy the concert because he kept looking down at his parents, seeing them there, and he was like,
I do vaguely remember that. That was like the first couple seasons, right?
Yeah.
So, This episode wasn't, that big of a deal. It just kind of showed that Casey's a psychopath or a sociopath or something.
That's the big thing that we're taking from this. So continue to join us so you can see how much of a sociopath is. I'm preparing a TED Talk about it. I sent you a picture. Did you see my picture?
I didn't see it.
Check it right now.
To be or not to be a sociopath, the Casey McDonald story. Sociopath. Noun, a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior.
It's welcome to my TED Talk, everyone. It's going to be great.
Look forward to that sometime in the future.
Oh, coming to a podcast near you.
Coming to this podcast near
Yeah, that's what I mean. Coming to the airwaves near you.
Alright, so that's the episode. I don't know which episode we're doing next.
Let me check, because I seem to be faster than you.
That's not nice.
Shut up. Cedar Source. I wrote Cater Source. I'm not the faster one. Cedar Source.
Grade point average.
Get out of here. I was not there at all.
So grade point average. That's a good one.
Is that the one where she's a grade grubber or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and she has to help Derek in the end. I think that's like
Yeah.
one of the classic Daisy episodes. So that should be a good one to watch. So anyway, as always, leave comments and leave questions on the on our Tumblr at daisy.tumblr.com, or you can send it to us at our Twitter at twitter.com/oopsydaisypod. And then we're also also in the comments if you're listening to this on YouTube. But yeah, because we didn't have any questions this time.
No, we didn't. And I'm not going to say what I said when I was told there was no questions, because that's just me.
But yeah, so just send us questions, especially if it's about grain point average, or just like what you think maybe Casey is. Do you support our theory?
Casey's a sociopath. The beginning of our theory is Casey a sociopath? Let me know.
Yeah.
Let us know. I'm actually gonna message Ashley.
Do you think Casey was a sociopath?
I'm rewatching these episodes, and I think she's a sociopath. Will you be part of the episode we talk about it? We're planning a podcast episode. Will you be a part of it to talk about her sociopath tendency? Please. Oh, I need it.
All right. So that's it for right now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.